Hello and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight we are joined by realtor and bondsman Melina Hara. Welcome to the room, Melina.
Thank you. I am happy to be here.
Well, I'm
This
happy
is
to have you.
exciting.
I'm
This is
overjoyed
very
to have
exciting.
you in. Um, now my Facebook's trying to reconnect, so hopefully that comes back on. If not, I'll restart it. So, born and raised in Ohio. Oh, and I need to start my timer. Almost forget. I forget it every time. There we go. We do a 20-minute podcast just in case you're not aware. So if we run over time a little bit, it's okay. So born and raised in Ohio, and I believe you were quoted to say you push ahead your nature to your mother. Your push ahead nature, you owe that to your mother. So
Yeah,
tell me
absolutely.
what your mother did for you that actually made that possible for that to be instilled into you.
Oh golly, she's just really was always a really hard worker. Owned a business of her own. Loved what she did, and just always, no matter what, forged ahead. Even through a tough time um, when she did get breast cancer, she just kept on going, and I don't know how she did it.
Wow.
It knocked me off my feet, and but she somehow just moved right along. And I remember her saying once to me, at this time I was working for an ear, nose, and throat doctor in New York, over by the hospital, and I have these migraines, and I said, Mom, I had called off half a day, and I was telling my mom, I said, I just don't feel good. I just don't feel good. She says, if you can complain about it, you can go to work. And so I, that really took me back. But yeah, so I did. I went in at 1 o'clock. But
Wow.
she's a strong person, very strong-willed person, and I think I got that from her too. And just where, hey, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going. Um, yeah, so it works.
Well, I didn't know that she had breast cancer.
Yeah, no one really does. That was scary, and it was not one of the better ones. And within no time, she was right back out there, and just didn't really let it get her down. I don't know how she did it. I know we had, I would drive to treatments or some of the other family members, and with her, and yeah, she's still. Well, it didn't take her long, and she was going again. And it's just really funny. We didn't continue to talk about it, and I do think about it. We did run some of the marathons. The what were they? The 5Ks, real popular at the time. Um, Golly, because it's probably been near 30 years ago. I'm thinking. Um, and so, or maybe not that long, because I remember some of my daughters doing that with us, or with me, and or I did it with them. I forget which one of us encouraged which, but we did that, and that was just to support mom. And so we still think about it, and so I just say a little prayer in my
Right.
heart that she's okay.
Well, in full disclosure to the room, just so everyone knows that's listening, Melina and I have known each other for what?
A long time.
Yeah, I don't really want to put an age number on it. Let's just say numerous years.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
not
no,
age us any more than we need to.
yeah, yeah, and that was just great. We just hit it right. It just hit it off in the beginning, and I can just remember some really nice times um, with you, and especially the last time before COVID,
Yes.
you coming over with Dad when Dad was here,
Yeah.
and that was really nice.
Yeah, he was a really good man. So,
Yeah.
as we're talking about your family, you were raised in a rather large family, would you say?
Um, it's kind of yes and no, because after my parents divorced, it was I mean, of course we saw Dad all the time, but it was my mom, my sister, my little sister, and I. And so we were the threesome that would take a cousin and head to Florida for a month every summer, and do things like that before Airbnb.
Right.
before you rented the condos, we rented a furnished apartment
Nice.
and with a pool, and that's what we would do. And we would pack that Cadillac full, because we'd have to take our silverware and our towels and everything, and our bedding. But the furniture was there, so that was so much fun with my aunt and uncle down there. So that was just my sister and I. But my dad did have a prior marriage, so I have two half sisters.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, and four stepsisters. So yeah, I guess that is pretty large.
A little
Yeah.
bit, and I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys did a
And
lot of celebrations together. The reason I
that's
ask is that those get-togethers with all that family, is that what inspired you to want to have a large family yourself? I mean, because you do believe, I believe you have 5 children, correct?
yeah, we had five. I guess I valued family. I didn't know how much I really love babies, though. I just wanted a big family,
Right.
and I love babies. And so once I started having children, I really loved having them, and so I just remember I was probably 16 when I made that decision that I just wanted a large family.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, even now you always have a baby on the hip, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, the youngest and probably last of the grandchildren is Lincoln, and he is 3. And
3.
he's built more like a football player, kind of like his dad, very broad, big boy, almost nearing 60 pounds.
Wow.
He's a chunk. So when you say hip, um,
It's a
yeah,
workout, yeah.
that's what brought me. And he still likes to be cuddled that way. He still likes Mimi to hold him and cuddle him. Now he will be 4 coming up in March.
Nice. So
So
with
yeah.
so with your family in mind, let's talk professions. You've
Hmm.
had quite a few. I mean, even in the time that I've known you. Um, Kind of tell us some of the careers that you've had over the time, and some that you still currently have.
Some that I still currently have. Okay, so let's see. Um, Real estate,
Hmm.
and we still have real estate, at rental properties, which I really enjoyed my rental properties through the years. My husband really supported that endeavor. It was such that I had a business partner for a long time,
Hmm.
and he and I worked pretty well together. I really miss him. He passed away a few years ago, and a lot of lunches with him as well, and the grandkids.
You're right.
Yeah, he had no problem with hanging out with the whole family. So we invested in rental properties where we could help people that were having a tough time,
Right.
and it would sort of get them in, and then later we'd work out the details. So we did that for a long time. We still have some, just the regular, rent. It's not to help anyone get off the street or anything,
Right.
just some rental property. So, and when I was selling real estate, which I really enjoyed because I met people that I really enjoyed working with. I met you and your husband and your daughter. Um, really enjoyed our time together, helping you find a home, and getting to know folks that way. And I worked for a really great company. This was back in the day,
Oh
though,
yeah.
before we did things online. So it was a little bit different than now. And then from there, just started some other things, maybe working for my husband's company a little, and that's manufacturing.
Yeah.
And he has kind of stayed in there, so we're still doing that and still helping him more with importing. And then I owned a little um, temp agency, and that was fun. Did a lot of interviewing. The kids sat in on a lot of interviews.
Right.
Yeah, because we did a lot of things over the phone. It was just a little bit easier than people traveling all the distance for an interview.
Hmm.
And so the kids have gotten the grandkids have really gotten some experience. Maybe one of them will hire in as a supervisor at a manufacturing company. No, we have one that really wants to be a cashier at Kroger. She's 6. And so I hope that that happens because I love Kroger. Um, so as we kind of stay, I stay a lot in manufacturing, and then the temp agency, the temporary staffing, and
Right,
that was primarily to staff a manufacturing company
right.
out on the floor. So that was fun. I met a fella who worked for helping me out
Mm-hmm.
doing my background checks. I met him, and he invited me to then work for him. So it was a turnabout, and that's how I now still retain the title bail bondsman.
Right. Now
Is
you,
the
now in between there was a dance instructor, correct?
Oh yes, so I did do that. I did that for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. The ballroom, the waltz dance, the foxtrot, all that, tango, swing. That was a lot of fun teaching the students at OSU here in Newark. Um, I enjoyed that a lot. I believe that was I just quit actually kind of took a little break from it about 4 years ago, and I enjoyed that break. And I thought I would not ever enjoy not teaching dance, but as we got more grandchildren, um, I haven't gone back. I'm sure they've replaced me with some really nice folks, and but I did that for 10 years. And I did enjoy that. I
Right.
really loved the dance. Yes,
Well,
yes.
actually, you had quite a few good reviews online. I did look it up. So you were rated pretty well. The
Okay.
reason I ask is because we go from family right into your career. So what I was
Mhm.
asking is having such a large family and many children with many kids and themselves, has that helped you multitask between all your careers?
Yes, it has. And we don't skip a beat. The kids go with me for business meetings downtown. They have many a time now gone to the courthouse with me. Um, and they're really polite children, so or maybe they're just a little bit shy once they get over there. Lincoln, however, is not. He introduces himself and engages in conversation with the adults quite a bit. As they get to be about 6, they start getting a little bit shyer, but um, they don't ever interrupt my work. They've kind of been my little sidekicks, and I really appreciate them. They keep me. Yes, I juggle work and the kids, and that's been a lot of fun. And I'm glad I can do that. So I've picked things, or things have picked me that have um, helped me
Right.
so that I don't have to make a choice between family and career.
Right.
And so, yes, I get tired, and yes, I may have to work weekends or nights at the desk. Um, but I have loved being able to do it that way and have them right there. So it'll
Right.
be interesting to see what they end up doing when they grow up.
It will be. So
Yeah.
I have to make a point here. So from ballroom dancing to bail bondsman, I mean that's quite a bit difference in a
Yeah.
direction. So let's dive into first how the ballroom dancing came about.
Okay. Golly, I guess I was just lucky. That came about. My second husband. Um, my first husband and I had the 5 children, and my second husband has been also very helpful in rearing those children, and also very much in love with these grandbabies. So I met my second husband years and years ago. He was a ballroom dancer. He was competition dance, and he was really amazing. And I never thought it was something I would take up, but I did enjoy watching him. And of course, everyone has a good partner. They practice a lot. They travel and they dance. And then I got a little bit more and more involved with that, and so then we would travel and dance together too. And I remember a competition in California, and I did enjoy the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I was invited um, to teach ballroom dance at OSU.
Nice.
Yeah, so
And it wasn't just a side course. I mean, they got credits for it, so it's not just
yeah,
a course, a last minute thing that people sign up. It had to be something that they really truly were interested in, right?
right, right, right. And I enjoyed it's a I listened to some of yours and the podcasts and the authors and their art form and how fascinating. I could never write. So
Oh, but
I
you have done infinitely more. If you were to actually put your life on pen to paper, I'm sure that it would be a fascinating read. I
I'm
mean,
certain I would have to hire someone to do that for me. But
well, so when you went from you went from excuse me, you went from ballroom dancing to bail
right,
bondsman. I
mhm.
mean, how much of a drastic difference was that for you?
That's a huge drastic difference, and it's not something I thought I would do. I have been really fortunate over the years to have um, and I have to give credit, and I like to always give credit, all the people that have made things happen in my world. It isn't just that I did this or that. I always had somebody there to help. I have a great accountant. I have some great friends that pick up the pieces. My family has been there to help me out with the kids if necessary. Um, I had a payroll person. I have people that do things,
Right.
and so therefore it's not me. It's just that um, I'm involved. They all help me to be able to do what I do. So yeah, bail bonds was a lot different. When I met the young man that did my background checks for my company, he said, "Hey, you are certified." I took the classes to sell. I'm not sure why. Um, health, life, and annuities. Really fascinating. I like annuities the best. I have yet to work in that field. He said, "How about you go to school to learn sureties? Why don't you come to work for me?" And I said, "Okay." You know why? He had done so much in my business to help me. I used his conference room. He helped to interview. He did my backgrounds. He was a great guy. And I thought, well, sure, I can help you out when I'm needed.
Right.
So yes, it's vastly different from anything else I have done. I never thought I would get involved with that. Enjoy it. Um, you're still helping people in a sense,
Hmm.
and um, it's something that I can do, and he makes it easy for me.
Now, see,
So that helps me greatly.
I think,
Yeah.
well, first off, I have to say, I think you sell yourself short because there has to be a boss in every business. And yes, you might have all these underlings in different fields of their expertise, might be able to push your name along, but it's still your direction. So I think you don't give yourself enough credit there.
Oh,
Yeah, really, I just don't. I mean,
I
standing back
couldn't
and
do it.
yeah, standing back and looking at the things that you have done and accomplished, I tip my hat to you because that's quite a bit. I mean, you went from one career to the next and you've achieved so many goals in each and every career. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't have much knowledge toward the bail bondsman. How exactly does that work, if you wouldn't mind explaining it?
Oh, okay. So a bond is provided by an insurance company,
Okay.
and that is provided through the bail bondsman. And so I am the agent acting as to secure the release from jail an accused defendant.
Nice.
That's exactly how that works.
Wow.
And it's, pending trial. So it's a little lot different than everything else I've ever done.
Right.
Um, but if I can help, I like to do that.
Now, is it a dangerous field or is it's pretty much minimized for you?
Well, over the years, I'm sure it's always been a little bit dangerous. I think there was a show on TV too, um, about what they do. So the good thing is that there's we bring people back that maybe need to be brought back into the courtroom. Now, I personally have not had to do that.
Right.
and I'm okay with that.
I
Uh,
don't blame you.
the
I don't
men in the
blame you.
business, because it's a bigger business and there's a lot of offices around Ohio, Columbus, Newark. So the gentlemen that work in the field, that work for um, the bonding agency, they have the tough job. I do paperwork. I can go to the courthouse. I can do those. I do those sorts of things. I kind of stay off the
Right,
streets.
right.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, I
I
do
can.
think it commendable that you are taking it as how to help other people. You're not looking at it as stereotyping the group of people that you're working with. You're looking at it as to help people out in a
Mhm.
difficult situation and helping them make things better. So I commend you for that.
Oh,
Um,
thanks. Yeah.
with all your, I'm going to ask this my final question because we're running out of
Oh,
time.
okay.
But with all your
This has been
career,
fun.
oh, I'm glad you
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. With all your career achievements and family growth, what would you say is the next oncoming goal that you'd like to succeed in your
Oh,
life?
oh golly. The kids and I are currently looking for camper trailers that sleep 10. That's the biggest one right now. And I look forward to just watching these kiddos grow up. I will always probably work.
Right.
My husband just never stops. And I think I got a little bit of that from him as well. However, I have the easy end. I get to spend more time with the family and the kids. And thank goodness for my daughters and all the cooking that they do in the household, um, and the way they help out. So I think I'll continue to work. I don't think I'll stop being a bail bondsman. I might want to get more back into the rental property thing a little bit more in the future.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think I'll just keep doing those things, and maybe one day we'll dance again or compete again.
Right. Well,
That might be fun.
that
Yeah,
would be awesome if we could get back to simple
yeah,
things that this whole mess of the last couple of years would end.
yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
I want to thank you so much for being on the program tonight and giving us all the details of your life. It's been fascinating. We probably need more than 20 minutes, but
That went really, really fast. I didn't get
yes.
to mention the couple I came in fifth place behind and I felt amazing to lose to such a great couple. And that was in the dancing in California at the
Right.
competitions. Didn't even get to mention them. But yeah, absolutely. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, I greatly appreciate you being on. I want to thank you and I want to thank our audience for coming in tonight. We do have another podcast coming up this Thursday. So please stay tuned and listen. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for jumping. Have a good one. Bye bye for now.